What's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, guess what? We're doing another tier ranking. This one's an interesting one. I wanted to do a NFL teams, basically fan tier list. Basically how this works is I'm going to kind of go and rank the tiers from top tier being like these are the best fans. When you go into that stadium, they are loud, they are rowdy, they are cussing, swearing, they are getting in your ears, they make the quarterback's life a living hell, those kind of fans. And then as we kind of move down the list, is going to be your average fans where it's like they're loud but they're not very rowdy, you can play comfortably in their stadium. And then you have your lower tier, which is you're not afraid to play in their stadiums, you're not afraid to go up against their fans are not loud, they are not rowdy, they don't get in your head, they don't say anything that bothers you, they're just an average fan. You'll see the tier list here in a moment, so without further ado, if you're going to enjoy, make sure you do drop a like. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, as you can see, we've got all the teams here, got all 32 teams, and we kind of got this ranked by the top tier being the best fans, meaning, like I said, they are active in the stands, they are yelling, whether they're up 28-0, down 28-0, whether it's social media, commenting, interacting, always there for your for the team, new players, making them feel at home. Those kind of fans, that's where they're at. When it comes to the good fans, it's pretty much like best fans, but there's just something about them towards like they could be better. Your average fans, like I said in the intro, they're gonna be loud, they're gonna be kind of there in the in the stands. When it comes to social media though, they're not really there. They're a little bit distant. I mean, you have the fans at the stands, but when it comes to social media and when it comes to getting a national recognition of kind of getting their names out to where it's like people even in national media will say like, man, they got some good fans, you're kind of average. Your trash fans are going to be your teams that either they have just nobody there or they have fans, but they are just very, very toxic fans. And then your non-existent Chargers, they are the team that pretty much their stands are going to be 90% of the time going to be 60% the away team, 40% Chargers. So we're gonna get right into this. Kind of start off. Let's go with the Cowboys. I know I kind of ridicule the Cowboys fans because of how annoying they are, but what I will say is probably they are one of the best fans in the land, mainly for the fact of they are always there for the team. Even when they have a bad year, they are right there trying to say they're going to the Super Bowl. They're always there for their boys. I'm pretty sure they sell out almost every single home game. When it comes to a road game, they are there in the stands. They are supporting their boys, and it sucks to do this, but they're always there. Next up, I'm gonna kind of put this together because both teams have had like the same exact history when it comes to them kind of going good, going bad, going good, going bad, and that can play a part in a lot of these teams because if your team basically just sucks, obviously you're not gonna go to the games. But if they're doing good, you're gonna have fans there. So that's where I'm kind of also trying to take my POV into for taking the teams that when was the last time you were good, whether it was now or before, and what was your fan base like then. When it comes to the Giants, I'm gonna say you're like average fans. Like they love their team, but it's like, I mean, they're up and down, they're at the stand, they're in the stands showing support for their boys. These couple weeks within the first few weeks of the season have not been good. I think obviously the team's going to be in a rough year right now, but they're still showing up to the game, so that's a good sign. The Jets, I'm going to say they are actually good fans. They could be a little bit better, but they have been through pure hell the past 50 years. They are just begging for something to root for, and even with the trash that they have been given, they are still there. Next up, we got the Saints. I'm going to say good fans, teetering on best fans, so I'm going to put them right here. And I'm also, for those of you who are new to my tier ranking, I try and like put them in like chronological order, so like right here, I'm saying that the Saints are better fans than the Jets. Yes, they're on the same tier, but the Saints are just a little bit better than the Jets. When it comes to the Saints stadium, they obviously have that enclosed dome, makes the noise loud in there. The fans know how to get into it. Social media, they're always active. They're always getting love to their for their players. Whether it's win or lose, you don't really see a lot of toxicity out of their fans. They don't really go out there and try and say the hateful quotes, you know what I'm talking about, to their players. They try and uplift them, make them know, hey, bad game, let's move on. Next up, we got the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to say average. I mean, I don't really hear from them that often, but they do sell out crowds. They are there. It's been a rough couple of years ever since Andrew Luck retired, so they're just kind of begging for something to cheer for, and they're still there. It's just when it comes to social media, I don't hear about them that much. Next up, when it comes to Titans, I'm going to get some hate for this, but I'm going to say trash fans. I think trash fans for the reason of their stadium is not really selling out that much when it comes to being pure Titans fans, at least from what I see on TV. Social media wise, they are very toxic if you ask me. And yeah, I'm going to say trash. Moving on when we get to the Bears, I'm going to say good fans for the reason of I don't really see a lot of mean Bears fans. I see a lot of fun, kind of like they know they suck, but somehow they're still coming to the games. And that's the thing with the Bears. They know they suck. There's a difference between knowing you suck and just admitting you suck, and then sucking and then just trying to almost like avoid the question of and just being like, no, we're going to turn around. We're good. We'll bounce back. Let's move on. We got the Dolphins here. I'm going to say good fans, but they're on the back end of good fans, being just like an average fan. On second thought, I'm going to put them an average fan. Probably like middle of the class there. I'm going to put an average fan. The fans come to the games, but obviously here recently, they've been doing a lot better, so fans are obviously going to come to the games more often. The thing that's kind of making me teeter on should I bring them down a little bit more is the fans are toxic as fuck. You can say all you want. I know one thing. When it comes to people from Miami, y'all are toxic as fuck. Kansas City Chiefs, all you got to do is just watch a game at Arrowhead. Best fans out there. They are loud. They are proud. They get into it. They are noisy. They're always in your ear on social media. And respectively, they deserve to be loud. They deserve to talk shit on social media because they're good. Their team is awesome. I'm trying to look over all these teams real quick and try to give a honest answer. But I would say, honestly, the Chiefs might be probably the hardest stadium to play in within the past, like, maybe 5 or 10 years. Ever since Mahomes got there and this team has just been, like, on playing at a different level, when you play in there, and you're the away quarterback, most quarterbacks have said it is like impossible to hear in there without like having the head coach literally right inside your ear and like just screaming the play call to you. Next up, we got the Cardinals. I'm gonna say non-existent right now. I mean, seriously, go find me a Cardinals fan. Even when the Cardinals went 8-0, where were they? I mean, they were 8-0. I think whenever they played Green Bay was 7-1. Arizona was 8-0. They had that big Thursday Night Football matchup, and the stadium didn't really seem loud or hostile to Aaron Rodgers at all. It just seems like with the Cardinals, they are like more of the bandwagon type team or type fans because when they're good, they kind of show up, but when they're bad, they ain't coming. Next up, we got the Chargers. Nothing to be said here. Move on. Like I said earlier, the Chargers, they don't have fans. We got the Falcons. I'm going to just go with average because, like, I know they have fans. There's some cool people. They're there. But do they talk a lot? No. Are they loud in the stadium? Kinda. They're average. Next up, we got the Patriots. I'm going to say, I wish there was on second thought, one moment. That's about right. What do you guys think? Toxic as fuck? I say so. 20-something years of Tom Brady. Now, respectedly, it was deserved. Y'all were good. Y'all were winning. But now, y'all have just been nothing but heaping piles of dog shit, and somehow y'all still want to talk shit and act like, look at us, we're the you're the 6-time Super Bowl champions. What are you doing right now? You're not good. Your fans are just being blatant assholes. All they do is cuss and swear all the time in the games. This might just be something against Boston people, but every single time you talk to somebody from Boston, all they do is tell you to go fuck yourself. I'm going to move on. We got Green Bay here. I'm going to say best fans. I'm going to probably have to do kind of change my rule up a little bit and say they are probably up here currently as the best fan, mainly for the fact that they literally own the team. I mean, when I kind of think about it, when you own the team, when all the fans within Green Bay basically own the franchise, how much more better of a fan can you get than that? I mean, they love their players. They're always there for them. Everybody, whenever it comes to a new player coming in, it doesn't matter if it's your generic high school kid to your 80-year-old grandmother. Everybody's got social media nowadays, and it feels like anytime a player is signed to Green Bay, they are following them on social media. And even if they leave, they are still followed. That franchise's fan base is loving, supportive, caring. Can't say anything else about them. Next up, we got the Ravens. I am a Browns fan, so I'm going to try to be nice about this. I'm going to say good fans. I'll put them on the back end of good fans. The fans are loud. The fans are noisy. They make the stadium go rocking. It's a great atmosphere. When it comes to social media, they're actually not that bad. The only Ravens fan that's kind of annoying is Wee Hoopin. We don't really hear about him much anymore. But I mean, ultimately, when it comes to the Ravens fans and like the atmosphere from the stadium, good atmosphere. It's noisy. Better when it's a night game. I mean, that's basically every stadium. But some stadiums at 1 p.m. and 4:25, they can get rocking. When it comes to the Ravens, you need that at nighttime game to get rocking in that stadium. But I'm going to stay with good fans. Next up, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. I'm going to say average fans. But I'm going to say like right in the middle pack. They show up to the games. They support their fans. Now, obviously, when they won the Super Bowl, people showed up a lot more. But even before then, people would still come to the games, not get it. It's Tampa Bay, Florida. Everybody can, it's hot out. People like to just go to the games, enjoy themselves. But there was a time where the team sucked back when Jameis Winston was the quarterback, and people still went to the games. Next up, we got the Vikings. I'm going to say good on like the high end. Well, no, I'm going to put them right here because I'm kind of thinking about it this way. Like I said with Chicago, New York, and New Orleans, they are like a very rowdy crowd. The Jets and the Bears, they have suffered through so much shit and they are still here. The Vikings have suffered a lot, but not as much as the Bears and the Jets. And I realize the Bears and the Jets have both been to Super Bowls before and the Vikings haven't, but just the utter bullshit the Bears and the Jets franchises have been through and those fans have had to endure it, they're better than Vikings. Now, the reason why I kind of am teetering on if I could put the Vikings up here in the best fans / just staying in the good fans is because the Vikings, when you look at that stadium, the skull chant, the purple all around the stadium, it makes me want to flip this pick, but I think I'm going to stick with good fans. Next up, we got the Rams. I'm kind of in the same boat with the Chargers for non-existent because LA, I realize it's expensive. You can't really afford the tickets that much, but when it comes to the Rams fans, they do show up more than the Chargers do. I'm going to go on the back end of average fans, and I don't really know what to say about that. I mean, they show up to the games, they don't really get that loud, but they're nice people. They're nice on social media, I will say that. Next up, we got the Broncos. For the Broncos, I'm going to... I want to say non-existent, but they do show up to the games. Kind of like with the Rams, back end. But I'm going to put them probably about there. They come to the games more than the Rams do. Falcons, I see them more often than the Broncos. I will say if the Broncos continue on this trajectory of sucking this year, the Broncos fans might become MIA. Next up, we got the Bengals. I'm going to say good fans, and I'm going to say like right here in front of Minnesota. Like I said with the Jets and the Bears, the shit they've been through, I realize the Bengals have been through some shit as well, but the Bengals went through a stretch there for like 10, 15 years with Marvin Lewis where they were making the playoffs. They just couldn't win the playoff game. Next up, we got the Steelers. In my opinion, trash or toxic. What do you think? Trash, toxic? I'm gonna just go trash. No, I'm gonna go toxic. Y'all are some toxic motherfuckers. And yes, I'm a Browns fan, and like I said in the beginning, this is my list. I'm gonna make it how I want it. Toxic as fuck. All y'all do is just talk trash. Y'all fucking have orgasms anytime anybody brings up TJ Watt's names. Y'all talk shit about Deshaun Watson all the time, but anytime you bring up Big Ben's history, y'all are like just cowering in the corner like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, we understand you won 6 Super Bowls. Shut up. Yes, we understand y'all have a super incredible winning record against the Browns. But you know what you don't have? A playoff win over us in your stadium. You don't have that, do you? Next up, we got Seahawks. I'm going to have to put them up here in the best fans, mainly for the fact of they legit had, at one point before Arrowhead did it, was, I believe, the first team to capitalize on like a level of decimal reading with noise that was equivalent to like an earthquake. Back when they had the Legion of Boom, that stadium, Lumen Field, literally caused earthquakes. And just the design of the stadium, the way it kind of caves in and like gives that architecture design to like trap the noise in, the fans just go nuts. I don't know how many times back in like from 2009 to 2016 I'd watch games in that watch games of teams playing in that stadium, and the away teams were calling so many timeouts. They were at times having to like scream at the line of scrimmage because nobody could hear. I'm gonna go with the Texans. I'm gonna just say like average fans because like they're there, they love their team, but you don't really hear them that much. If I had to put them anywhere, I'd probably put them like right here in front of the Rams because they're a little bit better than the Rams in my opinion. Next up, we got the Raiders. I'm gonna say they're average fans, but I would say they're like almost like a little bit better than the Buccaneers. With that new stadium being built, it's a great atmosphere. Their fans are coming a little bit more often, even though it's expensive as fuck to get in there. Like the amenities are cool in the stadium and all, but people have said they went in there and dropped like $10,000 just on basically going to game. But when it comes to the fans are cool. The fans go rowdy whenever the team's actually doing good. Social media wise, they're cool. Not really much other than that to say. When it comes to the Eagles, I might be up here with all these guys. Probably, I'm going to say because of the Seahawks not being as good as they were back in the day and the stadium isn't that loud anymore, I'm going to say the Eagles are like right in front of the Seahawks with being the best fans. The Philly fans are something different. From the stadium to the streets to social media to your own backyard, they are nuts. There's just something about a Philly fan that makes you just love sports because of their attitude towards their teams. Next up, we got the 49ers. I'm going to say they're good fans. Well, I can put them up here like right in front of the Bengals. They are some really good fans. They travel well. It doesn't matter what stadium or what team they're going to play in what stadium. They are always there. It doesn't matter if it's staying in LA, going over to Miami, or somewhere in the Central America. It don't matter. They are there. Next up, we got the Jaguars. I'm going to say average fans. Well, yeah. They're kind of there at the games. I haven't really seen big nuts go crazy type games out of the Jaguars when it comes to their stadium. Social media, I don't even know if there's a Jaguar fan out there, but I'm going to say an average fan. When it comes to the Panthers, I'm going to say, honestly, probably average fan again. They're an average fan. But do I put them? I probably put them like right behind the Rams. Panthers are going through a rough stretch right now because, like, they suck. They haven't won a game at this point. They're just in for a rough stretch. And the fans, I don't blame them. If you're not winning games, why come to the games? Next up, Bills. Bills Mafia, stand up. I'll put them actually right in front of the Eagles. The Bills and the Eagles fans are like the same exact people in one, in a way. The difference is, the Eagles, they destroy stuff after they've won big time games. The Bills will destroy tables in the pregame. Bills Mafia, stand up, because that, like, put it this way. I'm a Browns fan, but if I had to root for a second team, it's gonna be the Bills. Like, if the Browns couldn't go to the Super Bowl out of the AFC, I'm rooting for the Bills. Next up, we got the Washington Commanders. I know they got the Redskins logo there. It's the Commanders. There was a point where, like, about a year or two ago, I would have said trash, beyond trash, trash, trash. But now, they're coming back a little bit. They're showing up here this year with Josh Harris owning them now. I'm going to say just like on the teetering of average, because I need to see a full season of kind of how the fan base looks, how much more excited they are now with this team. Now that Dan Snyder's gone, we'll see how the fan base looks. And now we get to the two teams, one being my team, and second being another team like the Browns that have had recently same histories. 0-16 Lions, 0-16 Browns. Both teams have never been to a Super Bowl. Both teams have been ridiculed by non-stop losing seasons and always just drafting the wrong guys. But here recently, the Browns rebuild kind of started in 2018. The Lions rebuild kind of started in 2020. If I'm going to be honest, I'm going to put both these fan bases on the same level. The thing is, I want to put them in best fans. I want to do it so fucking bad. I need to see more out of these fan bases, and it's coming from a Browns fan. I'm going to put us, like, I'm going to put us in best fans, and I'm putting the Lions up there too. But I'm going to put us, like, on the back end. Same thing with the Jets and the Bears, but when it comes to the Lions and the Browns, y'all didn't go no 0-16. Y'all don't know the bullshit basically just being made fun of year after year. The Browns went 1-31 in 2 years. We almost went 0-16 in back-to-back years. We were one Chargers missed field goal away from losing on Christmas Day, and then going 0-16 that season, and then going 0-16 again. And once again, this is my list, so if you don't like it, fuck off. But this is my list. I think I'm going to change one thing, mainly for the fact that the Titans being the only team here in trash fans. I deleted the trash fan row. I put the Titans up here in average fan. They're still a little bit trash, but I put them at the bottom of average fans. But that's my list. But other than that, like I said, that's my list. Hopefully you guys did go on to enjoy today's video. If you kind of had a different opinion on any of the teams that I did here in today's video, maybe it was a different tier that you kind of thought. Maybe you thought the Browns, the Jaguars, the Saints, Chiefs, Seahawks, Colts, whatever team you thought that maybe you're a fan of, and you said that team does not belong in this tier, they should have been in this tier. Let me know down in the comment section down below what you kind of thought about the whole tier list. If you thought you had a different opinion, same opinion, let me know in the comments. If you wanted to enjoy today's video, it's always much appreciated if you drop a like, always appreciated. And if you're brand new to the channel and you're enjoying the content that I do post here, I have all sorts of tier list rankings here on the channel. I'll put an annotation for the playlist for all my tier list rankings videos that I have here on the channel. But like I said, if you're enjoying the content that I do post here and you want to go and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so. And don't forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post. But without further ado, this has been Talk Sports. Have a great rest of the day. Peace.